Coffee Break, today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio, Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela.
Yes.
Last week, I think it was Friday, I was tuning into Wonders of Jeju.
Yeah.
Because I was in Jeju. Need to learn about Jeju.
Yes.
And I was telling our listeners I'm in Jeju.
Yeah.
Eugene's was in Jeju.
Oh, wow.
Our producer is still in Jeju.
I did not know that.
And they were like, what about Angela? How come you didn't invite Angela to Jeju? I was like, what do you mean you didn't invite Angela to Jeju?
Oh, well, did everyone else get a free ticket to Jeju?
Everyone thought we went on an MT.
Oh.
And then Angela wasn't invited or something. I was like, no.
Man.
We all went individually.
That sucks. You didn't invite me?
No, what are you talking about? How could I invite you to a family trip?
You didn't meet there, did you?
No.
Yeah.
We're all like, none of us contact each other. We are strangers.
Yeah.
Even if I see you, PD님, out in the street somewhere, I'm not going to pick you up.
Can you imagine, like, meeting someone from work during a holiday and having to mingle with them?
I mean, I don't mind. I just didn't have time. I really didn't. And then
Sure.
I think our producer was up in Jeju City.
Oh, I see.
I made sure I was as far as possible down in Seogwipo. So
Yeah.
that
I was
didn't.
also enjoying my time alone. So
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah. Shoot. Guys, it was not like we were kind of isolating or wangdang or something like that. That's not true. Anyways, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, we talked about Korea's 80th anniversary of liberation a few weeks before, you remember, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't get to dive into some of the hidden figures behind the movement.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. I feel like when people think about Korea's independence movement, they think of older,
Yeah.
male
Yeah.
leaders.
Yeah.
However, there were also female leaders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dominant narrative is like mostly older male leaders, but today I want to focus on the women, those whose name often didn't make it into the textbooks until very recently, but whose sacrifices were absolutely essential. So today's tidbit is going to be info-packed.
Now, there are female independence activists
Yes.
who we mentioned, but we're going to
Yeah.
forego them and some of the unspoken.
Yeah,
Some of the
exactly.
heroes, the heroines did not get the amount of spotlight that some of the others have.
Exactly.
This is really good. And already this sounds very powerful, Angela.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, out of more than 18,000 recognized independence fighters, fewer than 700 are women. That's only about 3.6% of the total. But the truth is, women fought, organized, smuggled, recruited, and in many cases risked even more because of societal expectations. So, I think looking into it is really meaningful.
No, it really is. So let's have you give us some examples of what these women actually did.
Sure. So many of them were part of the Korean Liberation Army,
Yeah.
especially after a unit with many women in it was officially formed in 1942. And some of these women were Ji Bo-kyung, Oh Hee-young, and Oh Kwang-sim. Most of them worked in China's Anhui province.
And can you tell us what they did?
So a lot of people think if women independence fighters, they mostly wrote pamphlets, but a lot of them are also doing a lot of other stuff as well, including, carrying out propaganda and even helping young conscripted Korean soldiers escape the Japanese army and set up underground bases in occupied areas. Yeah, they were doing all that. And in 1944, their efforts led to a mass escape of conscripted students, which became the foundation for the Liberation Army's 3rd Division. Yeah, so they were making impact, really a lot of impact.
So usually when we think military operations,
Yes.
we think male figures.
Yes,
But
and-
their work directly impacted military operations too.
Exactly. And, some of their stories are just jaw-dropping. For instance, take Oh Kwang-sim. She was married to Kim Hak-gyu, a commander in the Revolutionary Army, and often traveled between Manchuria and Nanjing carrying information. But the wild part here is, to avoid getting caught by Japanese checkpoints, she memorized a 200-page report word for word at
That's
some point.
crazy.
Yeah.
So whatever report was coming in, and she had to deliver that, but
Exactly.
don't want to be caught with the report on
Exactly.
hand, and so she memorized it.
The whole thing.
The whole thing word for word because every word is very, very crucial.
Yes.
That is nuts.
That is. And, imagine just the discipline,
Yeah.
the sheer willpower. So she knew that carrying a physical document would risk everything. So
Yeah.
she literally became the document. And, that's the kind of sacrifice that makes you stop and think about what, independence actually cost.
So I'm guessing, again, she wasn't the only one balancing this enormous risk, right?
Definitely not. Women also created organizations like the 애국 부인회, or which roughly translates to Patriotic Women's Association, which popped up in Korea, China, and even the United States across the seas and Russia after 1919.
And so tell us what this group did.
So they worked side by side with Red Cross groups, organized relief projects for fellow Koreans, but they also funneled money and resources to the Independence Army. And so they were basically doing humanitarian aid while secretly preparing for war.
And you know that the wild thing about this is I'm sure like the Japanese, they were probably like, oh, women.
Yeah.
Not doing anything. I mean, like, there's no, like, red flags,
Yeah.
right? When, like, a guy is walking around, they're probably like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But, like, if, and then again, I mean, this is using that to their benefit
They
right
actually did take advantage of that.
now. Yeah, exactly. This is good. That's what you get for being sexist, Japan. So they weren't just supporting, they were strategizing.
Exactly. And what really stands out as well is the solidarity. Women across all classes and even countries were united by the shared goal of independence. And this really stands out because this was during the early 20th century when class was still a big thing in
Yeah.
Korea. And they overcame that.
Good stuff. Well, so what are some of the other names to remember?
So while doing research, a lot of names came up, but professors today highlight figures like Kwang Nak-won and Cho Maria.
Well, I've heard of her.
Yes, exactly. To remind us that the independence movement wasn't just male-led, it was deeply interwoven with women's efforts. And, I really want to go in depth with it, but because we don't have time, maybe this could spark interest in our listeners and, they could look it up.
In our elevator, there's what is it now a little screen,
yeah.
right? And then not too long ago, because we were celebrating 80 years of independence,
Yes.
they were posting up all these names that we might not know about. Jo Maria was one of them,
Yes.
and I was just sitting there. I'm not standing there, not sitting there in the elevator. Standing there going,
Yeah.
interesting stuff. So great stuff here. We're going to continue to talk about, again, names that there are so many names.
Exactly.
And even though we can't get to all of those names, I think at least some of these heroines need their recognition here. Speaking of heroin, we're going to take a short song break here. This is Ive with Heroin. And that was Ive with Heroin, because we're talking about heroin. The good heroine, independence activists, female independence activists who sadly haven't been recognized until recently. I think it is the duty of Koreans, everyone in Korea, and everyone else to, give them the recognition.
Yeah, and remember them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why, it's really great that these stories are now being highlighted through exhibition and research. And, for example, just last month, Seoul's Lee Memorial Hall ran a special exhibition called Voices or 목소리. Though the exhibition ended just yesterday, I thought it's still worth mentioning.
Yeah, I know. Again, I think it's because who knows? They'll probably have the exhibition next year or whenever. What did the exhibition showcase?
So this was really special because visitors could literally listen to reenacted voices of 12 women independence fighters.
What?
Yes, so young students as young as 14, like Son Myung and Park Eum-jeon, were imprisoned for shouting 조선 독립 만세, or independence for Korea at their schools on the 1-year anniversary of the March 1st movement back then. And the exhibition, through these reenactments, visitors could hear the voices of what these 14-year-olds might have sounded like.
Guys, 14 years old. 14 years old. I was...
Can you imagine the bravery, the courage?
No, seriously. You know what I was screaming when I was 14 years old? Baby 복수짱.
Oh my God.
That's what I was doing. You know, but you have to remember that a lot of the independence fighters, they were
Yes.
very, very young.
Yeah.
Yu Gan-sun is another name that we talk about often.
Exactly.
People forget how young she was when she was arrested and tortured.
Yes.
All of that stuff. But this is extraordinary.
Exactly. And, the exhibition even had ear-shaped sculptures in the garden. So people could put their ears to them and hear the voices of, you mentioned her, Yu Gansun and more, performed by actors and students from their old schools, which really put another meaning to it. And, it was moving because it reframed them, not as daughters or wives, but really as historical agents in their own right.
I mean, I don't want to ruin the mood here, but wouldn't it make more sense if it was like a mouth sculpture?
Right. That is interesting.
But that's not what's important here. That's
No,
not
but
what's
it's about hearing their voices.
Yes, because the ear has more of a symbolic significance than a mouth. In a mouth, the sculpture would look very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is chilling though.
Yeah, and this wasn't the only event. Just a couple days ago in Andong, there was an art exhibition called 어머니의 정원을 찾아서, which means In Search of Mother's Garden. It connected women independence fighters with young women who recently protested against authoritarian crackdowns here in Korea.
So it connected the past and the present.
Exactly. It was like history and the present speaking to each other. Maybe there was a mouth in this exhibition. Paintings also reimagined fighters like Nam Jae-hyun, who was nicknamed the Flying General for her daring missions, as warm protective presences. And Nam Jae-hyun, you might have heard of her because she is the model for Chun Ji-hyun's character in the film 암살 or Assassination.
The whole time I was like, man, this name sounds very, very
Yes.
familiar. How is it that I've heard this name? But yes, exactly. Beautiful, beautiful movie, by the way.
Yes.
So why is it so important to revisit their story now, though?
Well, because, remembering them changes how we understand independence itself. And, are you up for a short history lesson?
I'm always up for a history
Okay.
lesson.
So I didn't know this either, but it came up while research. So Korean women's activism goes back even earlier than the 1910s. It really picked up steam with groups like the Channyangwe in 1898, which openly declared women's rights to education as equal to men. And that was radical for its time. But when Japan colonized Korea, women didn't have the luxury to just, fight for only gender equality. Their energy went into national survival. So independence really became tied to women's liberation in a way.
No, it really did.
But there was always tension regarding the activities of women in the independence movement as well, because they were often, seen as supporting roles. But ironically, as you mentioned earlier, because of that, many women were able to be informants because Japanese authorities often underestimated women. They could sometimes slip under the radar to gather intelligence. So, even these supporting roles, so to say, were incredibly risky and meaningful.
No, I really think, I mean, intelligence, right?
The most important part of any.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, so it does sound like their sacrifice extended beyond their own lifetimes.
Absolutely. And, exhibitions, like you mentioned earlier, are so important because they restored humanity to these women. They weren't nameless martyrs. They were students, young students, teachers, mothers, even organizers. And, without them, Korea's road to liberation would have been taken much, much longer.
It's very humbling hearing all this because, again, I mean, you have to understand these were brave women, but
Yes.
many of them were also very young.
Exactly. And, I think that's the message on the 80th anniversary of liberation this year. Independence wasn't won by a few great people. It was built on the resilience, of countless ordinary people, including women who history nearly forgot.
And again, by remembering their voices, it's the least we can do to give back for what they've done for us and trying to gain our liberation, right?
Exactly. Their passion still speaks across generations. So, maybe today's tidbit will spark some interest in them again.
There you go. Angela, way to come back to our live show with this incredible tidbit. I almost hate to call it a tidbit, right? This was more than a tidbit, I feel like.
Thank you.
This is great. Angela, thank you as always. Have a fantastic rest of your night. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
And sending her out of the studio, let's take a listen to a song here from N Flying with Everlasting, 만년설.
I'm crazy. I think I'm sick. Do you feel me? Yeah. 같이 산 이 시선에. Yeah. got to be crazy, isn't it, baby? I'm crazy. 이밤 우리 둘의 실루엣 맘새 crazy.
The Culture Inc. We're not listed on the stock exchange, but the value of K-culture to the moon.
Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio is Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela.
Yes.
Because Chris Rhodes won't send a video of him doing the 꽁꽁 얼어붙은 한강 위로 고양이가 걸어다닙니다 dance. Mm-hmm. You're going to teach me.
Okay.
No, I mean not
No,
technically
I'm gonna teach
because
you,
no,
and you're gonna do it.
technically not teach because I'm not gonna
teach
learn
you.
it.
You're gonna learn it with me. I'll do a step by step.
Let's do it. No. Just can you show us like
No,
from
no.
first start to finish first?
Like I know what the how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's 꽁꽁 얼어붙은 한강 위로 고양이가 걸어다닙니다.
꽁꽁 no.
꽁꽁
꽁꽁 얼어붙은 한강 위로 고양이가 걸어다닙니다.
고양이 is this. 고양이가 걸어다닙니다.
고양이가 걸어다닙니다. You
There you go.
wait. 꽁꽁 얼어붙은 한강 위로 고양이가 걸어다닙니다. Did I get it right? Oh, I explained it. 꽁꽁 means like frozen.
Yeah, so it's like 꽁꽁
Yes.
얼어붙은 because it's cold, right? So you're
Yes.
shivering.
Yes.
한강 위로 above the river.
Yes.
고양이가 the cat is walking.
Who came up with this?
Chu. I think Chu started the viral thing.
Really?
Yeah, with her. I think she started the whole viral challenge stuff.
Chris Rose, you want me to do it? Not a bloody chance, son. No one needs to see me dance. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Want to do it again?
꽁꽁 얼어붙은 한강 위로 고양이가 걸어갑니다.
You're like the thing from Fantastic Four.
꽁꽁. What are we talking about today?
We're not talking about cats.
Yes.
It might have to do with 꽁꽁.
Okay.
Have you noticed like the weather has gotten really cooler the past 2 days?
Which is why I went back to the gym, working out.
Yeah, it's almost
love
like
it.
fall is here.
I love it. Yeah.
And you know what people in Korea always say about fall?
가을 타다.
Yeah, they do say that.
Fall in
It feels
love.
like, yeah,
Yes.
like feeling lonely.
Yes.
But also they say 가을은 독서의 계절, or fall is the season for reading.
Why am I having deja vu right now? I'm having a deja vu
Really?
right now. Yeah.
You said the same thing when we were recording about running. You said you were having a deja vu
Oh,
moment.
really? I'm having a deja vu moment right now. I've heard it. I've
Yeah.
definitely heard this.
Does the phrase inspire you to read more?
No, it just makes me want to go to the Han River right now for some reason.
Really?
Yes. And then try to walk across the frozen river or something.
What is it? The rivers don't freeze and fall.
It doesn't freeze.
Yeah.
Does it inspire you to read more?
Yes and no.
But you always read a lot, though.
Yeah, but I haven't been able to read a lot but the past year, but then starting last month I had more time on my hands.
Yeah?
And I've been reading a lot, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm glad fall is here.
Very nice,
Do
very
you know
nice.
where the phrase comes from?
Book face.
What?
Book face.
What is
A
that?
person who loves book.
Oh, you're making a joke.
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, the phrase itself has an interesting backstory.
Sure.
It goes way back to the Tang Dynasty in China. There was this famous writer named Han Yu who wrote to his son telling him that autumn nights were cool enough to sit by a lamp and read. And in Korean, the phrase is 등화 갓진, which literally translates to it's pleasant to be near the lamp. And, that's where the phrase was born.
Interesting.
Bet you didn't know that.
No, I definitely did not know that. So people were already associating autumn with reading back then.
Yeah, and in Korea, the idea actually took hold more strongly in the modern era. In the 1920s, newspapers started calling fall the season for reading, even back then. And by 1927, Reading Week campaigns appeared, influenced by America's Children's Book Week. Have you heard of
Yes,
that?
I do.
Yeah, exactly. Which which actually spread to Japan and then to Korea, which was under colonial rule back then. After liberation, Reading Week paused briefly but was revived in 1955, and now September is officially Reading Month in Korea.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm very much familiar. We had like more than Reading Week. It was like a Reading Month.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so, like, in elementary school, for every book that you read, you get a personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
That's what we got. We got like a coupon for this. Did that really?
I'm still having flashbacks.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, yeah.
They've been doing that for that long?
Yeah, we had pizza. Oh my goodness. I completely forgot about that part.
We're like 10 years apart. I don't know how they continue with that program.
And you had like book fairs, right?
Yeah. Scholastic.
Yeah.
You know, Scholastic book. I love book fair, and they give you
the Magic Treehouse book set.
Yeah. I mean, I was big on Goosebumps and stuff. Reading Rainbow, guys. You guys know Reading Rainbow? That was a good
right.
show. But this is deep history for such a simple phrase, though.
Right. And, every September since then, libraries, bookstores, and schools across the country in Korea hold events to, keep the tradition alive. And so this year is no different. There are tons of activities related to reading happening nationwide.
Okay, and tell us, like, what?
Well, we can start in Seoul, nearby. In Mapo Central Library, they have this guided tour program for kids running until December. Maybe you could go with your son. I always bring up your son. Children visit the library, can get library cards, learn borrowing rules, even learn how to search the catalog. And I think this is really important. It's about teaching them that a library isn't just a building with books in it. It's really a gateway to knowledge, and it can be a really fun place.
So if kids learn early, they'll feel comfortable in libraries. They're basically their whole lives.
Exactly. And I think that's true because I went to libraries when I was young and I still love them.
I went to libraries as a kid, and I never went back. So, I mean, it depends on
Maybe you needed a different
yeah.
person. Yeah. And then down in North Chungcheong Province in Chungpyeong County, they're celebrating Reading Month with a lot of creative events. Their small public libraries are holding things like folk art bag making workshops. And they've even got smart libraries, which is basically automated kiosks where you can borrow books 24/7 at train stations or riverside parks.
Oh, that's good. Actually, you know what? I've seen that. In
Right?
Seoul,
Yeah.
in Seoul. So they're like vending machines with books in them, basically.
Exactly. And down in Daegu at Susang Lake, there's the Subuk 야외 도서관 or Subuk Outdoor Library. Subuk means like piles. So basically, you can imagine piles of books. This one starts today, actually. Families can gather by the water to read together. And one of the highlights is an overnight reading marathon of classics like The Odyssey and Korean classics as well, like 열하일기 or the Jehar Diary written by Park Ji-won, who was a scholar that left behind a travelogue of his extensive tour of the northern and southern territory of China in 1870. So families can stay up from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. reading.
Wow, that's pretty hardcore. I'm not
It
gonna
is,
lie.
but they've got you covered with coffee. And if you finish it, you can get a commemorative badge and a prize.
Okay, so this is reading as an endurance sport, guys.
Isn't that fun? And then there are, more quirky, one-of-a-kind libraries you could visit for Reading Month. In Uijeongbu, they have Korea's first art library, which doubles as a gallery and also a drama filming spot occasionally, which was used in the drama It's Okay to Not Be Okay.
Okay, very quickly, what else?
In Busan, they just opened their first ever public comic book library with 3 floors packed with manga, webtoons, and it's right by the beach. So they run a sea library where you can read with the ocean as your backdrop.
Oh my goodness, I don't care about the ocean. Well, actually, no, it'd be better, but this is they have a comic book library?
Yeah, so Korea isn't, just about cozy reading inside. It's about making books come alive in all sorts of unexpected spaces.
Oh my gosh. For the first time in a really long time.
You're excited.
Very excited for libraries, guys. Since we're talking about books, this is a very famous book character. We're going to take a listen to a song from SHINee with Clue and Note, Sherlock. That was SHINee with Clue and Note, Sherlock. I was singing this song to Angela, and she had no idea what I was talking about. And it turns out it was because I was just a bad singer. Guys, what am I singing right now? Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. A reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know, ways to grow.
I know
A
that
reading
part.
rainbow. That's a
I
Man.
noticed because of that lyric.
just a reading rainbow part.
Yeah, not because of your side.
It's been a while since I last watched Reading Rainbow. We've been discussing libraries and reading in light of the Reading Month here in Korea. So you're saying there's a big Reading Month event happening across the country.
Yes, so this year the Ministry of Culture, Sport, and Tourism teamed up with over 1,000 organizations to host around 10,000 book-related events under the slogan 읽기예보, 오늘 읽음 내일 말금, which is really funny. It's a clever play on words in Korean. 읽기예보 means reading forecast and sounds similar to 일기예보, which is weather forecast.
Right. It's very smart.
Yes.
What kind of events are we talking about here?
They're actually really varied. In Seoul, there are author lectures, humanities classes, creative contests like making short-form book trailers, or even writing competitions for teenagers.
Oh, what about for younger children?
Kids get their own events too. Family reading clubs, treasure hunts where they learn Korean through play, and even DIY crafts or making, eco-friendly flea markets inside libraries.
So it's not just like sitting down quietly. It's very interactive.
Exactly. So this year's Reading Month is, breaking that old stereotype that reading books are a silent, solitary activity. You can do that, of course, but you can also do a lot of events. Take Rusan, for example. They're hosting a night picnic outdoor reading event. Families can spread mats by the lake, read under soft lighting, and enjoy live music and face painting alongside their books.
Face painting. Oh my goodness.
That sounds fun.
No,
though.
it just brought me back. Like a lot of the stuff, like Angela and I was talking about, like during the song break, was very like nostalgic stuff, and then I
yeah.
see face painting, and it's again nostalgia again. So that's like a book festival and camping trip in one.
Yes, and in Gyeonggi-do province alone, there are over 1,200 events.
Gyeonggi.
Performances, puppet shows, even musicals based on children's stories. And again, in Busan, you'll find book concerts with authors and creative craft events for kids. Gwangju is also blending magic shows with philosophy lectures and sweet events like books and cotton candy, which mixes storytelling with the magician's performances. So a lot of children might be interested in that.
Okay, so there's something wherever you are in Korea, basically.
Yes, exactly. And if you want something completely unique, Paju Book City, which is a place famous in Korea for having many publishing houses there, is even hosting a marathon on October 19th. You can literally run through the publishing district in Paju with the smell of fresh print in the air.
I thought it was like running while reading or something like that. Oh,
That would be dangerous.
Oh, that's so
No.
dangerous. A book marathon.
Yeah,
Okay.
quite literally.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And again, Jungpyeong, which we mentioned earlier, isn't the only place experimenting with smart libraries. You mentioned it earlier on different today's tidbit and coffee break, but other cities are rolling out smart libraries as well, making sure you can borrow books anywhere, anytime. So it's really about making books part of daily life, whether through technology, through these, nostalgic festivals, or libraries that feel like playgrounds.
People say book reading is for a lot of people who are introverts. Doesn't seem this way. This is, basically very extrovert-oriented festivals we're looking at.
Yes.
We're talking about experiencing books in every possible way.
Yes, absolutely. And, that's why Koreans still say fall is the season for reading, not just as tradition, but because September really transforms into a nationwide celebration for books. And, maybe your time to start reading is really coming, SJ.
Yes.
Would you participate in any of the events we mentioned today?
Do you want the broadcast answer, or do you want like real answer?
Real answer,
Real
always.
answer? I don't know. I don't think so.
You could go to the Busan Manga Cafe.
Oh, no. I
library.
will go there. I'm talking about maybe not the festival, but Busan, next time I go to Busan.
Yeah,
Usually when I go to
check it
Busan, I
out.
go by myself. So this is something I could check
Yeah.
out for sure.
Yeah.
What about you?
The Odyssey all-nighter sounds fun. Because that's my favorite book.
Man. Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me
Yeah.
about this. Okay. Okay. Moral of the tidbit. Read this month, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen.
Happy reading month, everyone.
Or get LeVar Burton to read a book for you. I can go anywhere. I had a question.
Yes.
You chose a song from IU called Zeze. What is
Yes.
Zeze?
It's from a book. You haven't read it?
What's it called?
In Korean, it's 나의 라임 오렌지 나무. It's from the book My Sweet Orange Tree. It's a Brazilian book, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sukasa,
Sukasa, have you read it?
You guys know, you know this book? Angela, thank you very much for your tidbit today, and thank you for the dance lessons. Have a fantastic
welcome.
rest of your night. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Sending her out of the studio, this is IU with Zeze.
Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio is Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela, I know this is a very weird thing to ask you, but because it was in the intro.
Okay.
Have you ever used the scrubbing service before?
No, I always had my grandmother and my mom for that.
I'm telling you, it's always the moms. They're the best scrubbers.
The grandmas.
I never had my grandma do it. I mean, I've never, but...
My grandmother always did it for me whenever I visited Korea when I was young. I didn't like it, but it was just, you had to do it for some reason.
I didn't like it neither. I really didn't.
I still don't go to 목욕탕.
It's just, for me, it's just a little bit weird.
For me also. Like, I think it's...
Because you grew up in the States,
Yeah.
right? I think that's
I
why.
think if you grew up in Korea and you've been, exposed to it at a very young age, you
Yeah.
just get used to it. But like if it's not a part of your culture, then it might be a little weird.
Like, when I go to the water park with my son, and some of the water parks do have that,
Yeah.
like, after we take a shower, like, we'll go in there and just kind of relax and stuff like that, but only because it's there. It's not one of those things where I'll pay money and go, hey, today's Sunday, let's go, the bat. Like, it's not one of those. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just can't. And I'm not going to let no stranger scrub my back. What's our tidbit today?
Somehow the tidbits are always related to the opening.
Really?
You know how you mentioned that going to 목욕탕 has become something a lot of people
Yeah, so weird.
I want to do
all the things.
because well, today is something that a lot of foreign visitors coming to Korea have recently started to do.
Okay, not scrubbing.
Not
No,
scrubbing.
okay.
Like, if you had to take your friend on a, or your girlfriend on a date,
Mm-hmm.
where would you go? Think of like ordinary places.
Am I gonna get in trouble with my wife?
For time travel.
Oh,
and
time travel.
10 years ago. If you had
10
to go
years
on
ago.
a date 10 years ago.
Where would I go?
Yeah.
So where did I go? Back when I was like dating.
Besides the movie theater and a cafe,
Man, I don't know.
what did you do?
I went to like festivals, like beer festivals.
always?
Not always.
Yeah, like an ordinary.
We always
everyday.
went to drink. I always went drinking.
Well, classic Korean play spots,
Yeah.
which you couldn't name.
Okay.
PC방,
I've been there once.
escape room cafes,
Never.
and 노래방 are suddenly on global travelers' must-do list in 2025. We're calling it K-놀이 or K-play.
The thing about 노래방 is like you have to be good to actually want to go.
No, but like you can also just have fun if you're going with friends.
Well, for friends, but when you're
Hmm.
on a date, though, like it's just a little bit different, right? So tourists are seeking out the same places that locals are going, basically.
Yes, big time. So the Korean Tourism Organization says from January to July this year, inbound visitors for Korea hit over 10 million, which is up 15.9% year on year and 106.8% up of the 2000 compared to the 2019 pre-pandemic level. And as K content spreads, of course, think K-pop Demon Hunters, visitors want like lived-in local routines.
Like what?
Like, not just bibimbap, not just the normal palaces, but the PC방, the 방탈출 cafe, the escape rooms, the 노래방, and even, 목욕탕 and 찜질방, and even K-pop dance classes.
Okay, that maybe I understand because so many people that love K-pop come to Korea and
Yeah.
they'll take classes and stuff like that. But PC bangs, so it's like what Koreans actually do tourism.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And, these are mostly everyday life experiences for Koreans. So tourists want to try them out. And the numbers are actually quite wild. In the first half of 2025, compared to the same time in 2024, escape rooms jumped by more than 1,400%, arcades by over 500%, PC방 by 80%, and 노래방 by around 55%. And searches tied to the show are pushing people toward local spots.
So tell us about the local spots, though.
Well, the local spots include places like Bukchon, like with, it's very famous street, Naksan-gon, Naksan Park, and the Hangang River, and of course the National Museum of Korea, which we dealt a few weeks ago. It's not just sightseeing either. Local businesses are also exploding. One bakery in Incheon saw transactions surge more than 17,000%, and certain cafes and bars in places like Seocheon and Hongdae shot up anywhere from 700% to over 2,600%. So tourists aren't just visiting the touristy spots, they're going where the locals are going.
That's insane, though.
Yeah.
So, James, our listener, was traveling. I picked him up at the airport, and I took him to the Gwangjang Market.
Yes.
That's all I did.
Great place.
I don't know where else to go, and I'm not going to go to Noraebang with him. So where do I start if another friend, or maybe our listener is coming and I wanted to show them around?
Well, you could go to the PC방.
Maybe.
Do you want to start with that?
Let's start with PC방.
Okay. So PC방, which literally means PC room, is a Korean internet cafe / gaming center. Even though Korea's home broadband is top tier, PC방 stay packed because they deliver high-end gaming rigs at low hourly rates, ultra fast ping, and social arena. If you're Korean, you will probably have gone at least once in your lifetime. If you like games, you will definitely be going there often.
Are you a gamer?
I used to go to play Overwatch and
Because you noticed you used the word ping.
yeah.
That's a very gaming...
I used to play some games. I think I mentioned it to you once. My friend is a big gamer, and when she was in New York, the only way I could talk to her was through gaming.
Overwatch was fun until they started nerfing everything.
Yeah.
So it's not just for the computers, right? Some people go there to eat. Because That's the big thing.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the image of PC방 is widespread now, but like picture rows of PCs, ergonomic chairs, noise managed headsets with a full snack menu. So PCbangs are well stocked and will get you anything from a perfect bowl of ramen to even pizza these days. Many of the PCbangs are hybrid cafe plus gaming with surprisingly good food, and they operate 24/7, so they double as late night refuge when transit stops. And of course, they don't admit, minors after 10 p.m., but it's still a great place to spend time.
I don't know what it is, but back when I used to go to PC방, they used to sell this thing called pizza burgers. And it's like just cheap microwavable pizza burger. Like, it's the most delicious thing ever.
Yeah, somehow like even the 짜파게티.
No, it tastes so much better
It
at PC방.
tastes so good when you eat it at a PC방.
I'm like, what are you guys doing with this? Why is it different? So tell us when PCbangs took off.
So the roots go back to an electronic cafe near Hongik University in 1988, and the true explosion came in 1997 to 1999 when the boom of StarCraft in 1998 and early sports broadcast leagues were formed, and PCbangs multiplied from less than 100 to tens of thousands within a decade.
StarCraft really did help it take off. What do people do there besides games?
Ticketing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did that before.
Yeah, so university course registration or concert ticketing sprints are all done at PCbangs. If you go at those times, you'll see an entire room staring at the same countdown page, which is kind of hilarious.
Back when I used to go to baseball games, I wanted to go to the Korean series because my Doosan Bears were actually good back then. I go to the PCbang, get the system clock. It's called a system clock, right?
Yeah.
You put that up on the screen. And then you go click, click, click.
Yeah.
Chances, I got all my Korean series tickets through the PCbang.
Yeah.
It works.
It's a great place to go.
It's super fast. What are PCbangs like today, though, and has the model changed?
You'll see self-service kiosks for time purchase these days, but staff still monitor, cook, and clean, and there are phone chargers at every seat. So it's pretty standard.
Yeah, and a lot of people do go there because it's very, very affordable.
Yes. So historically, it drifted down to 1,001 per hour, which is less than $1 an hour. But then, nowadays you can see Seoul rates to about 1,200 won to 1,500 won per hour, which is still roughly $8 an hour. So very cheap.
Very
yes.
cheap. And PCbangs have spread to other countries too.
Yeah, so you can now find the Korean version everywhere. Abroad, you'll hear internet cafe, gaming cafe. But, they're basically all based on the Korean model. And, the big difference is how Koreas are defined by top hardware and, fiber speed, whereas overseas venues often sit at, good enough.
I don't know if there's going to be any New Yorkers who are tuning in right now, but back when PC Bang started launching, there was like a place called Cyber World, Cyber Cafe, and I forgot the other one. Net Zone in Flushing was the guy made so much money off of PC Bang, he bought a house.
Was it like Korean?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was a Korean owner, and he brought off the system to New York, and he just became a millionaire
Smart
afterwards.
managing.
We're going to continue to talk about all the things tourists are doing here in Korea. We talked about games. This is Rose with Game Boy. It's Rose with Game Boy. We've been talking about all these things that tourists are doing, that locals are doing too. I find it funny calling myself a local now. PC Bang.
Yes.
And we talked about escape room 방탈출.
Have you ever tried one?
Never.
Never. Oh, wow.
It's just not for me. I don't know why. It's just I've met a lot of my Korean American friends who visited Korea. That was like one of the first things that they did.
Yeah, right?
It's just, am I too local?
Or maybe it's not the age range.
Yeah, that
for
might be
you.
it. That might be it.
Yeah.
But anyways, why are tourists suddenly obsessed with this? Does this come out like in a television show too or something?
Oh, yeah, sure. But so 방탈출, for people who might be unfamiliar with it, it's basically, teamwork, puzzle solving, and set design into a 1-hour thriller. So it's really fun to start with, which is why a lot of foreign visitors do it. Korea's breakout with 방탈출 was 2015 when they opened in Hongdae and Gangnam. And by 2019, Korea had nearly 400 venues. And, themes have really gotten wild since. And as you mentioned, a lot of TV programs in South Korea are based on this. So people have seen that might want to try it when they visit Korea.
So because I've never gone to one, what's like a session like?
You book a theme which usually lasts 60 minutes. You store phones and lockers, get a safety and props briefing, and enter the set, sometimes blindfolded. And inside CCTV lets staff monitor and give hints via intercom or tablet when you're stuck in it.
And what about the puzzles? Like, what are they like?
So they range from classic lock codes to, sensors. There are sometimes NFC, people there.
okay.
You can ask stuff, even VR segments. And themes span from classic detective noir themes to sci-fi, apocalypse, sometimes wizard labs. They get fantasy. And then sometimes there are very heartfelt story-driven rooms. So, you can imagine anything, really.
Now, the thing is, I feel like when you're doing quizzes and
Yeah.
all these questions, I feel like they're in Korean. Can foreigners do it too?
Yeah, so there are English-friendly versions these days because so
Okay.
many tourists want to try it. So you look it up before going if you're planning on it. But mostly the clues don't always need Korean. They're, basic math. Yeah. And so you can still try it out if you like a challenge.
So how much do I have to pay to find out how dumb I am?
Oh my God. No, it's the...
Because I noticed that people boast that. I know people who go there
Yeah.
religiously and they go I finished it in whatever minutes or
Because
whatever.
sometimes they're really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Seoul, expect roughly 20,000 won, which is roughly $15 per person, for a standard, not so difficult 60-minute room with 3 players. Rates often scale down per person as your group
Right.
grows. So you might want to, actually go with a lot of your friends.
We can't leave out, if escape room is not your thing, we got to talk about noraebangs.
Yes, noraebang is the original for foreign visitors wanting to experience Korean culture. But the more modern twist is coin noraebang or kono.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to one?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
My son really likes to go to this arcade at the Starfield Mall. And while he's gaming, I just go to the coin noraebang.
Oh, really?
후회 하고 있어요.
You sing that?
Yes.
Yeah, so kono, for people who might be unfamiliar with it, there are basically really tiny booths where only maybe
One or
max
two.
max 3 people
Three
can
people,
fit
yeah.
in. Yeah. And you feed coins or bills and you pay per song rather than by the hour, which is what the original noraebang makes you do. So
Yeah.
kono is really budget friendly and perfect for solos or pairs, and you can typically sing 2 songs per 1,000 won.
So if a traveler wants to do a K-Nori night, PC Bang for a game sprint or even
Yes.
food,
Yeah.
maybe have dinner
Yeah.
there, skate room to bond
Yes.
with other people, and then finish it with 후회 하고 있어요.
Or in my case, 나는 매일 학교 가.
짜잔! 버스 안에서.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yes, yeah.
And, and thanks to K-content, platforms are even bundling 찜질방 passes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, which might be perfect for a post-escape detox. And even K-pop styling and dance classes for people who are really into the K-pop scene. Or, you can also sign up for neighborhood food crawls. So really the, scenery of tourism is changing in Korea.
I don't know. Made It Up gave me like a 10-minute lecture on why sweating it out is not detoxing. So, but it feels good afterwards.
Yeah.
And Koreans swear by sweating it out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And it's really interesting to see how traveling is changing because of K-pop Demon Hunters. After premiere booking spiked, sauna passes up to 57%, K-pop styling 200%. So yeah, the scene, as I mentioned earlier, is really changing.
Claire Hardiker down under in Australia says, to be honest, it sounds like a great day. It is a
Yeah,
great day
it
until you
is.
hear 하고 있어요. One song could ruin your entire day. Angela, thank you so much for this. I'm sure a lot of our listeners will want to try this if they visit us here in Korea.
Do try it.
Have a fantastic rest of your night. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
And sending her out of the studio, let's take a listen to a song here from Promise 9 with Escape Room.
Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio, Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela,
Yes?
we often get messages from our listeners.
Yeah, we do.
And we love it.
Yes.
We love your messages. And I heard today we had a rather interesting message.
Yes.
Almost a tribute to
Yeah,
Coffee Break
I
today's tidbit.
suppose.
By the way, many fans of this segment.
Oh, really? Thank you.
My good friend Billy Kim, he's always
Oh.
driving to work, listening to this. He loves the segment.
Hi, Billy.
And Hito has long said he used to
yes.
re-listen to on podcasts with his son and things like that.
Thank you, Hito.
Speaking of Hito,
He sent an email
yeah,
saying, he wrote a script for Coffee Break.
nice.
And it was really interesting.
Hito, you know what you got to do now if you're tuning in, by the way. Now you have to 출연. You have to come to the show now.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. I don't know how you would do it with the time difference and stuff like that, but, you're going to have to use that somehow and have you do Coffee Break.
Hito break.
Hito Break. Where he's from, famous for coffee.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Really?
yeah, Seattle.
Oh.
Because Spucks.
No, I didn't know he was from Seattle. I guess Seattle.
There's Billy. There's Billy there. Drive safe, Billy. Yeah, but anyways, that'd be perfect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can coffee break. But anyway, speaking of which, what is today's coffee break?
It's related to coffee.
What? That is crazy. Look at that segue, guys.
So today, September 11th, is the anniversary of a shocking episode in Korea's coffee history. Can you guess it?
No, I have the script in front of me, but
okay.
it's weird because for me, when I hear September 11th as a New Yorker,
Ah, right.
it reminds me of the anniversary of the
9/11.
9/11, the terrorist attack and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I did not know September 11th, there's also a shocking incident
Yes.
here in Korea.
It's the anniversary of the King Gojong coffee poisoning assassination attempt of 1898.
So I know that King Gojong, the last king of
Yes.
Joseon, was an avid coffee drinker. He
Exactly.
was the very first, in many ways, he's the very first coffee drinker of Korea.
Yeah, he was. So
But coffee poisoning?
yeah, so as you mentioned, King Gojong was a famous coffee lover even back then.
Yeah.
He had waffles and tarts with his coffee, and historians even found tart pans and waffle makers in the palace.
Waffle
So
makers.
he wasn't just casually sipping coffee. Accounts say he drank coffee almost daily, and it was a big part of his royal dinners.
So what exactly happened on September 11th?
So, 127 years ago on this day, King Gojong had his usual pre-dinner coffee at Toksugun Palace, but then something tasted off for him. Gojong only sipped a little, but his son, Crown Prince Sunjong, wasn't familiar with the taste of coffee, so he drank nearly half a cup, and almost immediately the prince collapsed and Gojong himself began vomiting.
So Okay, so they didn't die though, right? Because I
Yes.
know what happens to Gojong later on. I mean, there's
Yeah.
more of Gojong in history.
Yeah, so thankfully both of them didn't die, but it turned out someone had slipped opium into the coffee pot, and even palace attendants who tried the coffee that night got sick, so it was clear that something was very wrong.
Opium is like, it's a drug, right?
Yes, but if
But
you
if it's consume it,
in large quantities, you can die.
oh,
Yeah.
do we know who was behind this?
Yes, so investigations pointed to a man named Kim Hong-nyuk, who was a former royal secretary who had recently been exiled.
So as a revenge, you tried to assassinate a king.
Yes, that was it. So to talk a little about Kim Hong-nyuk, he had risen from humble roots as a commoner in Hamgyongdo province, and he became Gojong's close aide and Russia's go-between during the 1890s. But after losing favor of the king, he conspired with palace officials to poison King Gojong. He and his accomplices were eventually executed, and the scandal sent shockwaves through the entire country, and understandably so. Crowds were furious, and the case even sparked public debates about justice and law at the time. And also as a result of the incident, Sun Jong, who had drank nearly all of the poisoned coffee, actually eventually lost his teeth because
Oh
of the
my
incident.
goodness.
And so a lot of people don't know it, but he had fake teeth for the rest of his life.
I did not know
Yeah.
that. Oh my goodness. So coffee almost changed Korea's history.
Exactly. Some historians call it a butterfly effect moment in South Korean history. If the poisoning had succeeded, Korea's politics could have shifted dramatically, but instead, actually, it left people both fascinated and wary of coffee.
Coffee, I mean, considering Korea, as you know, there are many coffee drinkers
Yeah.
in the country, and it almost would seem like there's a long history of coffee in Korea, but if you think about it, not really.
Yeah, about 130 years.
130, but if you talk about like the history, like, I mean, I don't know how long coffee's been around, but still, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, ironically, the scandal boosted coffee's fame. A newspaper started carrying ads for kabe tea, kabe being the Korean name for coffee back in the time. And within a few years, Koreans were buying instant coffee cubes that dissolved in hot water, which is actually the very beginnings of Korea's mixed coffee culture. And it's a bit like how scandals sometimes make something more famous instead of less. Suddenly, everyone wanted to try this mysterious drink.
Mysterious drink.
Yeah, so that's when Koreans' coffee craze started.
I'll tell you though, man. Like if you drink coffee for the very first time, I don't think they put like milk and sugar and stuff like that. It was probably straight up coffee. Like if you're drinking coffee for the very first time, you're probably like, bleh.
Do you remember when you drank it for the first time?
The first time I drank coffee was with milk and sugar,
I
and
see.
so like it tasted good. But then when I first had my first black coffee, because in America you don't call it Americano, we just call it black, right? I was like,
Oh, you didn't like it?
it was so bitter.
Really?
But it was over time you start learning the pure taste of the coffee, and since then, I mean, it's been.
You get hooked.
I mean, yeah, I've been drinking
I-
coffee for years now.
I drank black coffee for the first time when I was in high school. I drank Dutch coffee, and it felt more like tea to me. And I really enjoyed the fragrance, and I immediately loved it.
Dutch, because you started off with
Yeah.
Dutch. I started off with the corner bodega 50-cent coffee, which I mean, not so bad. But kabe, I learned the meaning of kabe at Arirang actually, because our cafe downstairs on the first
Yeah.
floor, it used to be called Kabe Dream.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, what is Kabe Dream? What are you dreaming about? And then I
Coffee
found out
dream.
it's
Yeah.
coffee. So this is a huge assassination attempt to everyday drink. But how was coffee introduced to Korea, though?
So Gojong was introduced to coffee around 1896 by a person named Marie Antoinette Sontag, who was the sister-in-law of a Russian diplomat and a French proprietress who was a close confidant of the Korean monarchy. She even opened Korea's first Western-style hotel and coffee house, the Sontag Hotel, in 1902.
Ooh, so I would assume then coffee was first introduced to the upper class, high class people.
Yes, so it was for the elite. Coffee symbolized modernity, and forks and cakes instead of chopsticks and soup bowls with coffee. That was the whole trend. But soon, tabang cafes spread across Seoul, and these spaces weren't just about drinking coffee. They became cultural hubs where ideas about politics, literature, and art were exchanged.
And also flirting later on.
Yes.
Taban culture. So coffee, because of the poison incident, was both dangerous fashionable at the
Yes,
same time.
trendy.
Dangerously fashionable,
Yeah,
trendy.
exactly. So for ordinary Koreans, it stayed out of reach until the Korean War. But when U.S. military instant coffee became widespread, that's when, coffee really became ordinary. After that, coffee gradually became everyone's drink. But its royal beginnings and that near poisoning remain unforgettable in Korean history. And there's even a film called Gabi that was released in 2012, which is very loosely based on this King Gojong poisoning incident. So look it up if you're intrigued.
Interesting. Crash Override says, I don't know where to get this mythical good coffee. There are a lot of coffee. I mean, but some people just can't take coffee.
Yeah.
Like, they can't. There's people who can't take caffeine. They or they just can't drink coffee, or they just don't like the taste. But I will tell you this: what is the greatest coffee you've ever tasted?
The greatest coffee I've ever tasted.
Yes.
In front of a mountain when it was raining.
Like where was the coffee being from? Do you remember, like Ethiopia,
Oh.
Kenya, like
It was Blue Mountain.
Jamaica Blue Mountain?
Yeah.
Jamaica's Blue Mountain coffee
It's amazing.
is the greatest
Yeah.
coffee I've ever tried in my life. I had a whole thing of it.
It's not often our tastes
Yes.
match.
It's true.
Yeah.
But
Blue Mountain is good.
it's expensive though.
Yeah.
It's a bit expensive, but it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to take a short song break here before we dive further into Korea's coffee culture here. But first, good song. This is N- with Sweet Venom.
Hey, 내 안에 번져가는 something 감미롭게 나를 이끄네 달콤한 poison in my blood veins 날 구원해주네 Dying in your arms feeling like on cloud 혈관 속에 퍼져가는 chest of your sweet nom 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 yeah all I need is your poison 들어가 새로운 세계로 So I let 피부를 떼기로 Sweet venom Sweet venom Sweet venom Whoa 차가운 손길로 널 잡고 입술은 여전히 널 불러 기꺼이 널 위해 날 바쳐 내 삶을 걷어줘 Now I'm dying in your arms feeling like on cloud 혈관 속에 퍼져가는 Sweet venom Yeah all I need is your poison 들어가 새로운 세계로 So I let 피부를 떼기로 Sweet venom Sweet venom Sweet venom 영원 따윈 포기할게 right now 지금 내게 너의 chest of your sweet
Nyan says, Blue Mountain. It's good. It is great. I drink coffee for not the taste, just to wake up, says Forky.
In Korea, we call that 가짜 coffee. It's fake coffee. And like 진짜 coffee, real coffee is the coffee you enjoy.
I had a bit of a phase where I used to grind my own coffee and then use the little dripper.
Yeah.
It takes longer, but it just tastes so
Yeah,
different.
you enjoy the whole process.
Yeah. Chris Rhodes, all coffee tastes the same to me. And so uncultured.
I feel, I wish it means you can enjoy more stuff when you enjoy the taste of coffee and stuff like tea.
How about this one? I need recommendations. I usually, again, Blue Mountain, Jamaica Blue Mountain's good, but it's too expensive. So I usually get one from Indonesia has really good coffee. I really love Indonesian
I also
coffee.
like Colombia.
Colombia is more acidic,
yeah.
so I'm not a big fan of the Colombian ones.
Guatemala.
Guatemala is much better. What is it? Ethiopia is sometimes it's good, but it's a little bit too flowery.
It's a little bit acidic
Fruity?
for
Oh,
me.
is it? Yeah, I saw like it was good in the
We're
beginning.
really getting into coffee today.
I mean, that was another hobby of mine. You know, before I got into wine, eventually got to wine.
It
but
makes sense that you make the leap to wine.
I
then.
love that stuff. You know, the notes and stuff like that. But anyway, let's go back here. We heard about how King Gojong's love for coffee almost got him killed.
Yeah.
But how has Korea's modern coffee culture evolved?
So that's another dramatic story of its own. By the 1960s, coffee was still a luxury in Korea, but the Tabang cafes we mentioned earlier had opened up to the middle class, and as you mentioned, became dating spots, kind of fishy spots also.
Yes.
You can see it often in a lot of Korean period dramas. And then in the 1970s, music dabangs with DJs appeared, giving students freedom to request songs and hang out. Another famous movie cliche, black coffee, drinking black coffee at these music dabangs was trendy. And by the 1980s, competition led to, quirky interior cafes.
You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
My mother-in-law in the 70s was a tabang DJ.
Oh my god, that is so cool.
I was like... So she knows all about, it was vinyls back then.
Yeah.
And so she was telling me like, oh, I miss playing vinyl music and stuff like that. So I was like, oh my goodness. When you turn 70, I'll buy you your little, player. But
That is so
I thought it was
cool.
really cool.
That is cool.
I really thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And then Starbucks.
Yes.
Right? I didn't know it came out this early.
Oh, really?
In the 90s.
Yes.
Well, just barely the 90s.
Yes, it arrived in exactly 1999. Starbucks opened in Sinchon, Seoul in front of Ewha Women's University. They still have that branch there open.
okay.
You can visit it. And it was revolutionary. The Korea coffee culture we see now started then. Takeout cups, self-service, and studying alone in cafes, that all began then.
It's basically what we see every day
Yes. And that model spread really fast, paving the way for both foreign franchises and Korea's own coffee chains. Today, there are estimated to be over 100,000 coffee shops across the country. That means in some neighborhoods, you can find 3 cafes on the same block competing for attention.
now. Yes. There are many
Coffee
cafes.
addiction.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, this explains why Korea is often called a coffee powerhouse now.
Yes. In fact, coffee has become so deeply woven into daily life that it's not just about flavor, it's also about timing. When do you usually drink your coffee, SJ?
Usually in the morning because I get here very early.
You only drink 1 cup a day?
No, twice. So first time is in the morning just to wake up. And then second time usually around afternoon after lunchtime.
Do you drink it as soon as you wake up?
No,
Okay, good.
because I bring it to work and then I drink it. So
Good, because health experts say you shouldn't drink coffee right after waking up because your cortisol levels are naturally high then. And the sweet spot is about an hour after you
Oh,
wake.
perfect.
And of course, avoid coffee within 6 hours of bedtime unless you want to stay up all night.
Yeah, that's about it. Like about an hour after
Yeah.
I wake up, I get to work and stuff like that. But let's get some fun facts about coffee, Angela.
Well, fun fact, your favorite is Blue Mountain.
Yes.
Yeah, but besides that, here are some random but informative facts true to, coffee breaks tidbit nature. Beethoven,
Beethoven,
Yes.
the pianist?
the music
Okay.
composer, was a coffee fanatic and counted exactly 60 beans per cup.
Huh?
When he made coffee, he counted exactly 60 beans to make his cup of coffee.
That's pretty strong, though.
That is very strong.
Just
That
like
is
60?
extremely strong coffee.
Dude, man, what'd you do? Stay up all night, right, making music here?
Maybe he did.
Oh
Maybe
my
that's the
goodness.
secret to
60. The whole time I was like 60 beans. That could make about.
But you don't know how many cups he made. Maybe he used a French press and made,
Okay.
a whole jar.
Fair enough. Other random stuff.
Do you know which country drinks the most coffee?
Yes.
Where? You know?
Turkey.
Oh, you're wrong.
No?
Yeah,
Is it? No, hold on. Oh, it's not Turkey?
it's not Turkey.
Is it Greece?
No, it isn't.
Oh my goodness, I knew the answer to it. It's not Korea.
It's not
It's
Korea.
not Korea. Oh my goodness. Italy? No, Italy? Is it Italy?
I thought it was Italy. It isn't Italy.
Oh, what is it?
So, although you can find a coffee shop on every corner in Korea, Korea isn't first when it comes to consuming it. Finland
Oh,
drinks
that
the
is
most
crazy.
coffee per person, which is around 1,600 cups per year, which is nearly 5 cups a day per person, morning to night.
That is so random.
I would thrive in Finland.
That is so I really thought I was like, oh my goodness, I
You know,
heard
but
this
like
somewhere.
all the nations you mentioned make sense,
Yeah,
right?
Turkey, they make great coffee
Yeah,
too.
Italy, the home
Italy.
of espresso.
Yeah. Wow, Finland.
Yeah.
What's going on over there, guys? What's going on over there? What else? What else?
Yeah, and we mentioned Blue Mountain, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a pretty expensive coffee bean. But the most expensive is actually the Kopi Luwak, which involves civet cats, which is a small nocturnal mammal native to tropical Asia and Africa. And these cats eat and pass the beans. And Kopi Luwak goes for about $600 per pound, which is or almost $100 per cup in the U.S.
I've had it twice. Have you ever drank this?
I've never tried it before.
Once I drank it because it was offered to me at a house. Second time I went to a cafe, and back then it was about 14 years ago, and so it was about 2만 원, 20,000.
Which would be like almost 50,000.
No, huh? 50,000. Oh, right now.
Yeah, right
yeah,
now.
Yeah. And so, number one, I was very disappointed.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, it was.
It was not as good because number two, it was not made the way I like it. I like mine very strong, but it was very.
Bland.
It was bland.
Watered down.
Watered
coffee is
very
the
watered
worst.
down. Yeah, it was very watered down, so I wasn't a big fan of it. But yeah, coffee's history really a mix of scandal and weird, strange trivia.
Yeah, right? And, you know, here in Korea, the history includes royal intrigue, assassination attempts, and the rise of cafe culture. And next time someone sips their morning latte in Seoul, they're actually part of a tradition that's been brewing for over 130 years. Pun intended. It's a reminder that even an ordinary daily ritual can carry layers of unexpected history. So, you know, if you listen to today's tidbit, now you can say, do you know what day 9/11 is in Korea?
Oh, yeah, in Korea.
In Korea.
You say that to everyone else
No,
in like
no,
the
no.
U.S.
In Korea.
It's a different kind of
Yeah.
anniversary. Nyan says, SJV, try Singapore kopi.
Oh, I have tried that.
Yeah, it's good. Well, Nyan was saying it's a wish of hers to have coffee with Angela and SJ. Maybe
Korea.
if you come to Korea, let's have coffee. All right, Angela, thank you very much for this tidbit. Fun one for sure. Have a safe rest of your night. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Sending her out of the studio, let's take a listen to a song here from Joy and Big Naughty with My Lips Like Warm Coffee. 내 입술 따뜻한 커피처럼.
Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit. And joining us in the studio is Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela,
Yes.
did this week go by very fast or very slow?
The days were slow, but the week was fast.
What does that mean?
That's actually,
Is it a poem or something?
no, it's actually a saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I thought this week was going to go by really slow because we had our vacation
Hmm.
last week, but it went by so quick.
That's the thing. The days are slow, the days are long, but the week goes by quickly.
It went by really quick. I honestly can't believe it's already Friday, to be
Happy
honest with you.
Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's gone cold, too.
I wouldn't say cold.
Oh, it's cold outside now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm so underdressed right now. I'm still dressed like it's like July right
I
now.
wouldn't say cold, but yeah, I could wear my walkers today, so I guess, yeah, it is more fall.
You know it's autumn when Angela starts whipping out her boots.
Yeah, I wear only boots in the winter.
Yeah, she only wears boots in the winter. It's come out now. And you know that fall's here now.
Yeah.
What's our tidbit today?
Wow. Are you familiar with kuga?
범 내려온다. 범이 내려온다. 얼씨고.
Or su? What's that?
I don't know. They always tap something. Yes. Kugak. We also
Yeah.
have our National Kugak Institute right across the street from us.
Yeah. So kugak is not what we just did. It's Korea's traditional music, which covers everything from court music, folk songs, pansori storytelling, which we attempted
Yes,
at
yes.
just. And a whole world of rhythms and traditional instruments like the kayagum, hegum, and tango, and much more. And, really it's more than just music. Kugak is really important because it's, Korea's history, emotions, and it even, incorporates Korea's philosophy.
Yeah. So why are we diving into Kugak all of a sudden today?
Because today is the opening of the 2025 Yeongdong World Kugak Expo, the very first Kugak Expo in Korea.
Ooh, the very first?
Yeah, the very first.
And it's not just a festival, but an expo.
Yes.
Like World's Fair, but for traditional music?
Yes, so the official English name is Yeongdong World Arts and Music Festival. So it kicks off tonight in Yeongdong, Chungcheongbuk-do Province and runs for 30 days until October 11th. The theme is 국악의 향기 세계를 물들이, which roughly translates to the fragrance of 국악 coloring the world. So think of it as both a showcase of Korean tradition and a global music festival.
Oh, that's cool. So this is
Today.
When's that opening? Today. Oh my
Yes,
goodness, it's
today.
opening tonight. What
Yeah.
happens?
So the opening ceremony at Yeongdong Citizen Stadium will be massive. 1,000 invited guests and 10,000 audience members will be participating. And it includes a parade of world traditional artists, an air show by the Black Eagles, and performances by the National Kugak Center and the Nange Kugak Orchestra.
I'm not gonna lie, the Black Eagle is just out of left field here,
Yeah.
for a Kugak Expo.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
That's
good.
big.
It's cool though. It's cool though. So famous Kugak stars will appear, I'm sure.
Yes, of course. So famous names like Pansori star Nam Sang-il and rising teenage Kugak artist Kim Dayeon will appear. And more famously, the crossover band Inarti will be part of it. There's also a huge percussion performance by 200 Yeongdong locals and a finale where everyone sings Yeongdong Arirang together, which, is kind of a hint to why Yeongdong is a good place to hold a Kugak expo like this.
Oh, there's also a Yeongdong Arirang.
Yes.
There's so many different
Yeah,
Arirangs.
there's an Arirang for each region in
Yeah,
Korea.
okay. I've never heard of the Yeongdong Arirang, to be
The
honest
more
with you.
famous one is the 진도. Wait, is it?
아리아리랑 쓰리쓰리랑. Which one's that? 아라리가 나네.
Yeah, you're good at Kugak.
Have I found my talent?
Arirang.
아리아리랑.
Isn't it the opposite? I
What?
thought it was Arirang.
쓰리쓰리랑.
You're doing like downwards. I thought it was upwards.
아리아리. Like that? No.
I thought it was Ari. Isn't it? I don't know.
Was I taught wrong? I mean, I learned it from
One of us is wrong.
One of us is wrong,
Yeah.
but this sounds really cool. But also more like a global spectacle than just a local concert.
Yeah,
though.
it really is. And, that's actually the point. Beyond the stage, the expo has 3 main exhibition halls. The Kugak Theme Hall plus World Music and Culture Hall, which shows Korean traditional music alongside world folk traditions. That will be fun to see together. And then there's the Future Kugak Hall, which uses media art to fuse digital visuals with traditional sounds.
Ooh.
So we have like technology, Korea's
Yeah,
technology
yeah.
showcase with tradition. And the Kugak Industry Promotion Hall highlights everything from instrument making to new Kugak inspired products. So this is really a dive into history.
So you got history, you got culture,
Yes.
and industry all together.
Yes, well said. And visitors can try to make things too, of course. What is an expo without hands-on experience? There's a heritage experience zone where artisans like bow makers, metal workers, and lacquer masters show their craft. You can even try playing instruments like the kayagum or tegum with expert guidance, which I'd really love to try. Plus 30 countries are participating, so you can also experience foreign costumes, crafts, and instruments.
Okay, I mean, this just sounds like a cultural playground.
It is. And, Yeongdong isn't a random place to hold an expo like this. It's considered the heart of Kugak with its long history.
Makes sense, but tell us.
So in the 15th century, Master Nange Bagyeon Yeongdong, and he laid the foundation for Joseon music by compiling music theory books and systemizing musical instruments. And since 1965, Yeongdong has hosted the Nange Kugak Festival every year. Add to that the Nange Orchestra, which we mentioned will be 1991, and you see why Yeongdong is the natural home for Korea's first Kugak Expo.
So Yeongdong is just not just a venue, but it's like literally the origin point.
Right, and there's a symbolic meaning too. So this year marks the 80th anniversary of Korea's liberation, but also the 130th anniversary of the name of Yeongdong itself.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the 20th century, even under Japanese colonial rule, Kugak endured suppression and, resonated with the independence movement through pansori and folk music, which really became a powerful echo that, preserved Korea's national identity. So the expo also ties Kugak to national pride and cultural identity.
Oh, so it was part of like liberation too?
Yeah, it was.
독립을 하자. 독립을 하자.
Maybe there was something like
Maybe
that.
something like that. They
Yeah.
could sing to it. I mean, there's a lot of soul. There's a lot of han.
Yeah.
There's a lot of han, sorrow in a lot of the pansori stuff.
I didn't hear that in your version of it.
Because we're liberated now. We're liberated
Oh,
now.
yeah.
We're going to continue to talk about this. This is pretty cool. We talked about 이날치. There's a song we're going to listen to. This is Crying Soft-Shell Turtle, or 별주부가 울며 여짜오대. And that was 이날치 with Crying Soft-Shell Turtle, 별주부가 울며 여짜오대. I want to try it. 별주부가 울며 여짜오대. 토끼란 놈 본시 간사하오. 일로 충성을 다와.
다하와.
다와. I sound like KCNA.
You sound, you know what I was thinking? Do you know the game Civilization?
Yes.
In it, like, 세종대왕 comes out in the earliest version. 세종대왕 speaks Korean. It sounds like that.
I was going to say I sound like the North Korean news anchor
No,
on Korea
that's
Central News
different.
Agency. 산에 올라 잡은 토끼 뱃속에 달린 간이 아니 내가 보면
간 아니 내고.
간 아니 내고 보면. So she was giving me a lesson into this.
I didn't know that you didn't know what a 별주. You had never heard of 별주부전.
No, I was like, is that food?
No,
It is not.
It's like one of the more famous stories, Korean traditional stories, and of course pansori,
Yeah.
like 심청전.
Yes.
Yeah, 별주부전.
I know the story. I just didn't know what
Yeah.
it was called, and so she gave me all this the history.
Yeah, I was giving you a history lesson.
You learned something again. Tidbit. You learned something
Maybe we
new.
should dig into this later.
We might.
Yeah.
I feel like they must have done that. The archive.
Oh, about 별주부전?
Yeah. I feel like Johan was going like.
I could do it better.
I'm sick and I need a liver from the what is it, the rabbit or
Yeah.
something. Silly rabbit.
Maybe our listeners know better than you do.
They might. They might. I just heard ton and I thought it was food. We heard how Kugak is the core of Korean tradition and why Yeongdong is
Yes.
hosting this World Expo. How does the expo connect Kugak to today's world?
So the expo slogan for this year is about coloring the world, and that's quite literal. Kugak is being reimagined as a global culture. The group 이날치 we just heard went viral in 2020 with fusion pansori songs for a Korea tourism campaign. Those YouTube videos got over 260 million views. Have you watched them before?
Yes.
Yeah, so they're very famous, and that is Kugak crossing borders. It proved that Kugak can find a home not just in concert halls, but also on TikTok dances and YouTube playlists around the world, and everyone can listen to it.
This is crazy because Kugak it's ancient,
Yeah.
but also trending at the same time.
Exactly. And the expo highlights that by blending Kugak with other art forms, digital video, modern dance, and even K-pop like we just heard. So it's showing Kugak not as a museum piece, but really as a living, evolving form of music.
So how does Kugak connect internationally, though?
Well, here's a fun fact. Kugak has a 3-bit beat rhythm structure that links it to music traditions in Mongolia, Turkey, and even Africa. So it's instantly relatable while staying unique at the same time. And, that's why foreign musicians often say Kugak feels familiar yet fresh at the same time. It taps into something universal about rhythm. And maybe that's why so many listeners, worldwide really like listening to Kugak fusion songs as well.
Yeah, I've seen fusion. I've heard really good fusion stuff. But this is really fascinating.
Yeah, and there is one person I particularly want to mention for this year's Kugak Expo. One of the ambassadors is a woman named Mapo Rore. She's a Cameroonian-born French artist who fell in love with pansori after seeing a performance in Paris.
Oh, Paris.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Oh,
she's the ambassador for this year's Kugak Expo.
and how did she become the ambassador for Kugak Expo?
A Cameroonian-born French artist, right? So after her first interaction with Pansori, she actually left her corporate career in France, moved to Korea in her 30s, and is now studying Pansori full-time at the Korea National University of Arts. She even performed Hungbuga at the Elysee Palace for President Macron and President Moon Jae-in, and more recently she performed in both Korean and French at cultural exchange events, showing how Kugak can be bilingual and borderless.
Why does she sound so familiar?
Because Arirang TV did a
Interview with her?
interview with her, a
interview, right?
documentary with her a few months ago, I believe.
Maybe that's why. I was like, man, why does this all
Yeah.
sound so familiar? Am I having deja vu all over again? Oh, this is incredible. So Kugak
Yeah.
isn't just for Koreans preserving tradition. You have people from many different countries, different corners of the world, really embracing this music.
Exactly. And that's why the Yeongdong Kugak Expo matters. It shows Kugak's potential as a soft power, something that carries Korean identity into the global arena, the way K-pop does today even.
Yeah, so in a way, Kugak is the root, and Kugak is the root, and I don't know what's the stump, but at least the K-pop is the branch. What will be the stump?
Anything that comes in between, all kinds of music that comes in between.
Trot music?
Maybe.
What came from Kugak? I mean, something must have had Kugak, and then K-pop now.
1920s music.
Yes,
Yeah.
trot music.
No, like that.
Swing, 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 my baby. Like swing music.
No, like there was this drama last year about the music of
20s, the Roaring
yeah,
20s.
yeah, of the 1920s in Korea.
In Korea. Can you sing to us?
No.
Man, almost. Man, almost.
Yeah, but good metaphor. I wrote it for you, but
Yeah.
good metaphor. And Yeongdong's expo is designed to make people see, that connection between Kugak and, more modern forms of music like K-pop. The organizers expect 1 million visitors for this month's expo, so including more than 100,000 foreigners.
That's 10%, guys.
Yeah.
That's 10%. I mean, I hope they've prepared for all the people that are coming.
Definitely. They've prepared parking for 4,600 cars, shuttle buses for people, who can't drive, and even ticket exchanges for local currency to support Yeongdong's economy. So it's about tradition, but also about the future, linking Kugak to tourism and industry. And if this succeeds, it could set the stage for future Kugak expos or even a permanent annual World Music Festival right here in South Korea.
Speaking of World Music Festival, EDM and Kugak at the same time.
Oh, that would be
Fusion.
amazing. You should do it.
Oh,
You should try it out.
I've always wanted to be a DJ, but DJing while doing
Kugak. And I think you should use a more Kugak rhythm.
I can't.
You have to study it.
I've also failed music in high school too.
Well, how many subjects did you fail?
Art and music. In English.
And English?
Yes.
Excuse me. Yes, but going back to Kugak is being reintroduced not as something old and distant, but as something modern, global, alive. So do a remix of. It's becoming a language that anyone, whether Korean or not, can feel and understand, and I think that's why it matters.
Cool stuff here. Angela, once again, thank you so much. I think I found my...
Calling.
Yes, my calling. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you again on Monday.
See you on Monday.
Sending her out of the studio, let's take a listen to a song from Stray Kids with Thunderous 소리.